the skateboard bit and George offering Tom the skateboard. So these ones I think start from that point.
I don't think anyone can help me. Sorry.
You can do anything, Tom. Anything at all.
And then this all changes a little bit. So it's not just him walking away and George going Tom, and they both deliver the anything at all line. So what actually happens is Tom goes, I don't think anyone can help me. George says, you can do anything, Tom. Anything at all. Gives him the skateboard, and then he walks up and joins his friends, and the scene finishes as George walks away. So let's take a look at what we have here. We've been using this angle a lot. Let's look at some others.
Don't think anyone can help me. Sorry.
Okay, so that's a wider angle, which is better to show him walking away. But we still get the most out of his facial expression from this close-up. So I think we are going to still use some more from this one as well. And then as he walks away, there. So let's shift F12 that in. And we're going to reframe this. That's a little bit awkward. I mind you, he's that close to the edge anyway, so that's fine. So what we're looking for now is a reaction from George, and there's a really beautiful reaction. There.
I don't think anyone can help me. Sorry.
He's a good actor, this guy. He was in Game of Thrones.
Charles. No one can help me.
And we're not concerned about the dialogue in this one. We just want that reaction, so I'm going to mute it when it goes into the edit.
Sorry.
Cool. That might be a little bit long. There we go. And I'm going to mute that clip. Right click, mute. And we'll fix that with a bit of sound design later on. But turns. That's maybe a little bit long. Maybe I'll trim it to about, let's just see. That's good. That's a bit weird. Okay, that's about the maximum we can get out of that shot. And that's a highly subjective, instinctive judgment. There's no actual measure for getting that. You just watch your reaction until it starts to feel a bit weird and kind of forced, and then you cut before that happens, essentially. So then we've got a really nice reaction. And I think I'm finally going to use one of these angles now. We're going to get away from 103801 EB, which has been about half this edit so far. But we just deal with the coverage we've got.
You can do anything, Tom.
And then what we want...
You can do anything, Tom.
And I'm going to mute that one as well. Because we've got a bit of a wide, turns to move. Okay, maybe there's a bit of a double action there, so I just need to slip that along. Does he appear to stop? No, he stops there, so I need to cut just a little bit beforehand. And then we're looking for one of these angles.
Sorry. You can do anything, Tom. Anything at all.
And we have a fair few takes of this, and we just need to pick one that we like, because Tom's going to take the skateboard and go up and join his friends. So we're going to reframe this almost certainly, because this is quite wide and it's a little bit awkward, and we've just cut his feet off at the bottom down there. And any of you who know anything about cinematography, I'm sure you know you don't cut people off at the legs. It looks weird, right? So we're going to reframe to get around this. So let's just take a look through these takes.
I don't think anyone can help me. Sorry.
You can do anything, Tom. Martin, you can do anything, Tom. Anything at all.
Okay, alright, but no.
You can do anything. You can do anything, Tom. Anything at all.
That I like, that's good. Let's set an IO there.
You can do anything at all.
And I'm gonna... to when he just about picks up the board. Because Tom's gonna have to react and come back. In fact, once he starts to offer the board, there we go. Tom's going to have to stop and come back. Anything at all, sees the board, goes to take it. So I'm going to leave that IO there, because I still haven't checked out all of these takes yet.
I don't think anyone can help me. Sorry.
You can do anything, Tom. Anything at all.
Those two takes are very similar.
Anyone can help me. Sorry.
You can do anything, Tom. Anything at all.
Okay, this is a much better angle of this, but we don't see what he picks up. So I'm gonna IO this as well.
Anything at all.
We just have to think about how we manage this, because we can go
Anything at
through
all.
all of this. I don't know, need to think about that. I'll set IO on there. I like that angle, I like that delivery. The way in my head it needs to be, you can do anything, Tom. Tom needs to stop, hear that, turn around and respond. Then we need George with the skateboard.
Tom.
And we need to see him go to get it, because we can't just have George just suddenly appear with a skateboard in hand. That'd be like something... Well, there's a British show called Dark Place which does that kind of editing for comedic effect, and that's not what we're going for in this one. So...
Anything at all.
I think we start on a wider angle. You can do anything, Tom. Wide angle. One of these two shots, Tom responds and starts to turn around. Then because in that wide angle we see that he gets the skateboard. Then wide angle, you can do anything, Tom. See the skateboard. Tom responds, turns around, anything at all. Close up. A bit more impactful. So let's try that.
You can do anything, Tom.
That's nicely timed. I like that. Let's go for this one for now.
You can do anything, Tom.
And we'll get that down there.
You can do anything, Tom. You can...
And I think we might just have to Yeah, we can't reframe too much because it starts to... Now, do we still...
You can do anything, Tom.
Yeah, there we go.
But
then we're cutting him off at the knees, which is something you're not supposed to do.
You can do anything, Tom.
Maybe that's not ideal. We can leave it for now and maybe come back to that in the second pass. The alternative would be this. And we see that he picks something up.
Tom.
We can see that he picks something up, and then later on we see that it's a skateboard. It's a bit of an odd reveal for a film like this, but that also works. Whereas cutting him off at the knees here isn't great. So what if I actually lift it up and we get his feet back in there? Yeah, because I'm going to cut his head off then if I'm not careful. Okay.
Anything, Tom. You can do anything, Tom.
And also that starting framing of him way over on the left is weird as well. Because ideally he should be more central.
You can do it.
Yeah, because we can't have Tom there either. Okay, I'm going to awkwardly frame it for now. And we'll come back to that later.
You can do anything, Tom.
Or alternatively, if we just do... If I do a smart overwrite, which is this one. Ripple overwrite.
Oh,
Oh, that's to actually be over.
You can do anything, Tom.
We have to split it there. And then I want
You can do anything, Tom.
Okay, he gets in the way a bit there, so let's try the other angle. Oh yeah, and then there's the phone ringing.
Anything at all.
Okay, yeah, because there's the phone. Okay, that's another thing that's not actually in the script. So, in what was captured, Steve tries to phone Tom again. So we have a close-up of the phone as well. Which we need there, so...
Anything at all.
And then what we need is a close-up of the phone. And for the actual edit, we do need to put some sound in there as well, so we just need a little bit of the phone. Yeah, that's not in the script, which is annoying. So there we go. Alright, so let's just take a look, because this is a really long, awkward cut.
Anything at all.
We could do that. We could add something in here. What we could possibly do is find a take like this. Because then he gets the phone out on these angles as well. And we could use that to split this up. So if I mute this clip... What I could do is I could split it there. And I could smart insert just a little bit in there, and then I could trim this right down. Until he goes and checks the phone. And that would help us cut a little bit out. And that could help tie all of this together. Or... and then I could do a cut on action. Because I can also cheat a bit of this action and make it happen a little bit faster. And then there's the ringing phone. So we also have to add a ringing cell phone here as well. You can find something like that on Zapsplat dead easily. That would be fine. So we could instead do something a bit more like this. And now we need George to pick up with the next line, which should be anything at all. So let's go back to some of these.
Should ever stop you doing that. In the alleyway, looking at looks like.
I don't think anyone can help me. Sorry.
Or this is alternatively somewhere where we could drop this line.
In the alleyway, and nothing should ever stop you from doing that.
We could alternatively drop this line here, but we've used it earlier on. I think it's better towards the end. I think it's kind of a non sequitur earlier on. So we could go back.
Nothing and nobody should stop you from doing that.
Yeah, so we could alternatively drop that line, because we don't see what he's doing below the shoulders, so we could still easily be holding that skateboard. But we'll just cut to according to the script for now, see what we think, or see what you think in second pass. So, nothing and no one. Nope, anything at all.
Anything at all.
Let's see what we think.
Anything at all.
And I think from there, just give that a bit of breathing room. We go to one of the wider takes.
You can do anything at all.
And I like this, and I like this little look of encouragement. So I think we could probably go in from there. And then as Tom walks in, cut to the closer angle. No, that doesn't. We need to find a windier take. No.
Anything at all.
No, they kind of block each other out a little bit there. That's too still, maybe.
Anything at all.
So we do have to think a bit about the continuity for the wind in his hair. That's better there.
Anything at all.
And then maybe go to the closer angle there. Let's see how this goes. No, it doesn't work at all. Okay, let's go back to the drawing board on this one. Okay, so that didn't quite work, I think. Let's keep looking at these. There's a little moment where he finds the resolve to ignore Steve before taking the board. So I think let's take a look at the other angle as well. I think just a little bit from here might help. And then when he begins to move in... What am I doing? Shift F12, not Control F12. And then as he walks towards him, we then want... Yeah, because we now know he's holding the skateboard. And we can now cut to a wider angle here if we want, where he goes and takes it and then goes off to join his friends. And that's before his swearing friends get involved, so... We could do any one of these to get us to the end of the sequence. They all work well enough. I particularly like... Let's take a look at the close-up, actually. And I want this change of expression from George in here. Actually, maybe not. Maybe just... cut an action. And then as he walks out of frame, we'll cut to a wide angle of him joining his friends. Cool. Ideally, I would have liked to have had that point where George is kind of, he's a bit uncertain, and then he has that really nice smile, but the timing for that doesn't work out, so... And then, finally... So where are we? Yeah, so he's actually taken the board. And then as he joins his friends there, we'll cut and we can go to a close-up of that. So we've got a closer angle of him joining his friends. Got this one. And yeah, because I've had to cut what they say because they swear all the time. So let's just see how this goes. Okay, I can trim that a little bit. Now here is nice, there's this little... And we can use this to cut this down. This is a long edit. So this kind of look back, I like. I'm going to split the clip here. Let's just see what we've got. There, kind of a nod. You're all right. Turn. I want to split the clip here. Let's see if we can find a shot of George. Just kind of smiling back. No, this is all earlier stuff. We might not actually have that coverage, which would be a shame. Ah, that's annoying. Just one more shot. Okay, in that case what we can do, this is a bit neutral, but I can just, we can smart insert that here, and then I can use that just to really cut that down as well. He does a bit of a nod back, doesn't he? So let's just... In fact, okay, different idea. This is a bit awkward. Let's get rid of that part, because there's another shot here, because we've got this closer angle of Tom going up to join them. So let's instead change this. Let's make this where he... Yeah, there's the nod. And instead, he goes and walks. And then as he walks, we'll cut to Tom with his friends, and then we've got these nice shots of George walking off down the pier. And I think that'll be much better than trying to cut this up and speed it up artificially. And I might just stretch that out a little bit. And then we have George's friends. So let's see. And then we have that there. And then finish off the scene. In fact, we could do this a little bit differently again now that I think about it. That I could actually put that here. And that still works. And then, having seen that, he's happy, he turns and walks away. As he turns to walk, and I want the end shot to be quite long. Maybe about there. Let's see how that works. Having done his good deed for the day. Cool, so let's just go back. This is pretty much us at the end of this first pass. But let's just watch this bit again.
Anything at all.
Cool, I like that. I think that's a nice way to end the scene. We go back to that kind of melancholic pace again. And there's been a small victory, but the film continues, and it doesn't end in a happy way for George, sadly. Cool. So this is a rough first assembly, and we've done it in about, I haven't kept track of the time. I think might be under 2 hours. So it can be quite good. It can be quite quick to work in the cut panel. But yeah, there are definitely limitations. I would not edit like this. I think it's probably clear. I like dramatic editing in the edit panel. Even if it's quick, even if it's a fast turnaround, even if it's on... I do very, very little editing on location, unless you count going to video game conventions and cutting smartphone stuff. But even then, I just get my laptop out and do this because I do the edit panel, because I just know the edit panel much better than the cut panel. The cut panel's quite new. In the next module, we're going to use the cut panel for the purpose I think it fits best, and that is building select reels out of rushes that we can then use in our edits later on in the reel editing panel. But it's important that we have this grounding. So that is pretty much it for the first pass exercise using the cut panel. In the next lecture, we're going to recap what we've covered, and I'm going to talk a little bit about things you might want to try if you want to take this to second pass. You don't have to. I think it would be good practice, but there are limitations when working with this footage, not least of which very windy audio, as we've found out by now. But if you want to do that, there's going to be a bit of a lecture